and
Yeah.
full health, so...
Yep. Um,
And I'm crazy enough to do it, so I'll go.
Yep. Yeah, you guys can. Respin, you're able to sort of sneak around in the shadows. I mean, it's nighttime, and there's plenty of alleyways between some of the buildings, and over some rooftops that you can climb up to pretty easy. Stay quite well hidden. And the rest of you are pretty much able to walk up to the inn pretty much unchallenged at all. You hear some nighttime sounds in the village. You can hear some in some of the houses or shops. Some activity like in a general store. You hear maybe a guy moving some crates around and some and there seems to be sort of like a heated discussion in the blacksmith shop, but between what appears, what sounds like husband and wife. But other than that, pretty uneventful.
So let's go directly to the inn.
Are there any windows on the inn?
Yeah, there's one that's kind of there's sort of the door, and then there's one that's just at the ground level.
Can I kind of like peek in, not like just like stand in front of it? I just kind of want to like peek my head over it.
Yep. Yeah, you can see it's sort of dimly lit. There's from where you could see, there's it's kind of by some tables. You don't have a great view of like the it looks like sort of a bar area underneath, with a bartender and some tables, and then some stairs leading upstairs. And there's looks like a couple people at the bar, 2 humans, 1 old, 1 young, and a dwarf, and then there's some 3 halflings sitting around a table that are, have hoods over themselves and are, keeping to themselves.
Do we want to go in?
Why not? What we do have to rest for a bit, so...
I'm still in front. I'll walk in first.
I think if we don't see any skeletons or scarecrows, we can assume for now that this might be safe, and if Paladin's sense of evil is not tinkling.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it is not. As you walk in, the bell rings as you walk in. That was right to the door, and there's an elf behind the bar that sort of looks over to you, and you can see he's a little bit surprised to see people, and says, "Well, what do we have here? Coming in after curfew? That's dangerous. What will you be having?"
Paladin looks at him. I look at him. I request a rag to wipe off the evil.
He kind of gives like sort of a little bit, inquisitive look, but shrugs, turns around, and grabs a dish rag and puts it out, on the bar. And one thing I also forgot to mention, there's another elf, younger looking, similar looking to the bartender, that's sort of half-heartedly playing a lute in the back of the bar. But he has a tip jar out there, but it's empty.
I'll take a scimitar out and start lovingly wiping down the blade with the rag.
Okay.
Not in a threatening way. The blade is down. I'm holding it backhand.
Okay. Yep. yeah, you draw it, they a little bit of tension, but then they see what's going on, and everybody kind of returns to their drinks. The dwarf and younger human, younger human's a little bit more heavy set. They seem to be having some sort of drinking contest going on. The older human is sort of off by himself. Real old stringy hair, wiry. Looks like he's drinking away something. And the elf bartender looks at the rest of you and says, and the rest of you?
Probably if you have, and I respond in Elvish, because I'm an elf. If you have some rooms for our parties, so that we had some strange, encounter with some sort of dangerous.
No, don't say it.
Well, let's just say that.
I'll just put my hand on your shoulder and just go, don't.
Do you speak?
I am speaking Elvish, sorry. I didn't. I thought you were in common.
Yeah, I said I say.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, he's talking Elvish, yeah.
Okay, then never mind.
I just say that we had strange encounter with some sort of creatures that were not exactly friendly, and well, we would need some kind of place to rest from that fight.
He kind of gets a concerned look, and what kind of creatures?
Skeleton. Two skeletons of I think they were minotaurs and a
Yeah, he gets a really worried look on his face and says, "And you made it here? What happened?"
Is this all in Elvish still?
That last part was in common. That you made it here. What happened?
I joined the conversation. I'm like, well, we fought them and we won. It hurt.
Vanquished.
And he kind of gets a even more scared look on his face. Turns around and starts rubbing his forehead and goes, "Oh no, this is not good. The Baron will not like his deputy being. We don't meddle with the deputy."
The deputy meddled with us.
Well, that was his job after curfew. Oh boy, you see the Baron here. He runs a tight ship, so to speak. We pretty much are just trying to do our best to pay the taxes and stay alive, or not. He doesn't say stay alive. Pay our taxes and scratch. Get by on what kind of living we can.
Seems like a pretty much straightforward Baron, except for the skeleton and the scarecrows that are trying to kill you. Don't you guys do anything about it?
Well, we really don't have the ability to. We're not allowed any sort of weapons or anything. I mean, we just don't have the strength to do any sort of uprising. Not with so many civilians being, or so many, not civilians, citizens. Not with so many citizens being abducted.
You allow your citizens to be abducted and you stand here?
Well, we don't allow it, but there's really nothing else we could do. When
fight.
With what?
The monk fights barehanded. Why can't you?
Yeah, we saw a blacksmith coming by on the way here.
And he's allowed to make horseshoes and hinges and bolts. But, you know, the occasional jewelry when there's a special order from the Baron. But, you know, he's not allowed to produce any sort of weaponry.
Now we can make pitchforks and hammers.
What's the floor of the inn made of?
Wood.
Scimitar that I've been wiping down. I just lift it and stick it into the wood floor, pull out the other scimitar and start cleaning that one.
Okay.
Make sure it makes a nice loud resounding thud as it goes into the wood.
Oh, it does.
Well, that's all nice talking about uprising, abductions, yada yada yada. But I ask for clarification. Is that comfy looking, and I say that sarcastically, castle/towers, or I already forgot what was near the village that we saw, that evil looking thing near the village, is that the place where your baron, your ruler resides?
Yeah, up at the castle, yeah.
Well, and I wink at the party, especially at the paladin. I'm pretty sure we can go there and explain this incident.
Agreed. I'd rather not incite any more or trouble, especially if since it seems we already stepped on some toes with killing his deputy. Maybe there's a sheriff we can talk to because we killed the deputy.
He's like, well, you certainly want to, and he kind of quiets down, and as you hear that wolf howl, mess with the sheriff, and he kind of like does a little nod as at the like, you know, to reference the howl.
I don't say that in character, but god damn it, is the sheriff fucking werewolf?
I hope he is.
I mean, that would be cool. Okay. One last question for me, dear bartender. Like, can we have a room here? We need a place to rest. And second, weapons. Okay, no, but we have our own. But do you have some shop where? Do you have somebody that can sell potions or something to heal or anything at all?
There is a apothecary, but she would not be open at this time. But
well, yeah. I
did you ask about
here.
rooms? Or yeah, there is one, yeah. And at that point, the door bursts open, and a man sort of falls in, and is stumbling in, and he is very bloody, and collapses on the ground. He's carrying a bundle, and as he collapses, you can hear some metal clanging in it, and says, "They took her. They took her, and they brought her back."
I'll yank my scimitar out of the floor and stand ready. Is the paladin spider sense tingling?
Not due to this man. No, it's not.
I glance over to the bartender. I'm like, friend of yours?
And yeah, at that point, the bartender was kind of rushing out. He was kind of rushing out to see the man, and Second. Trying to find a name here. Helmond. The bartender runs up and calls him, Helmond, what do they take? The Cora? And he goes, yes, they took Cora. And he pretty much passes out at that point.
Okay, but does it look like that he's gonna die unless somebody helps him or gives him some sort of healing, or not?
Potentially. And the bartender elf does sort of go back rushes back behind the bar and starts grabbing some rags and sort of starts to, do some makeshift bandaging as well.
Can I cure wounds him and attempt to revive him?
Certainly.
1d8 plus 4.
Yeah, I'd rather like to keep my last dose of my jar for
Fuck.
later date.
Alright, so yeah, that does, heal him up and revive him and stabilize him and all that. But he is still in fairly rough shape, you can tell, but not at risk of bleeding out and dying. But maybe not quite well enough to walk. And looks up at, and for the first time kind of sees you four and says, can you save her?
Where is she?
The sheriff took her up to the castle. We couldn't keep up with the taxes.
What is the sheriff?
What is it? The sheriff? The wolf? I mean, you do know the sheriff is a werewolf, right?
I mean, we are not from here.
That's a good
Do
point.
we look like we come in this area?
he would know that. The sheriff is a werewolf. I suppose you're not from around here, though. Maybe that's a good thing. Could you please rescue her? And
Why would we? It's none of our business. You guys don't even fight back. Why should we do your work for you?
Since I've been trying to do what I could, and at this point he had that bundle that he was carrying, sort of unravels it on the floor, and you see some, like, a short sword, a few arrows fall out, and a dagger. And he says, I used what silver I could to skimp off the Baron's jewelry orders. These should come in handy.
I say, I kind of say to our party, like, now, if you think about it, this could partially be our fault. If the sheriff found out about his deputy, he may be taking some sort of retribution.
Is this enough silver to melt down into a weapon of any kind?
These actually, these are the
No,
silver
these are-
weapons.
Yeah, these are silver
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so you get the impression he's been essentially sort of skimming off a little bit of silver every time that there's a special silver order from the Baron or something, and he's been sort of pocketing that silver to then make these silvered weapons in secret. Is what I was trying to get at. Maybe I didn't make
Okay.
that clear.
Yeah, I definitely take. I hope you don't mind because I think I'm the only one that can fight, like fights with bows. I will be taking silver arrows.
I have a question for the guy.
Okay.
Since, well, we've already seen a deputy that is a scarecrow, but a sheriff that is a werewolf. So I want to ask him. I assume the Baron isn't particularly human or anything similar, since especially you have silver weapons to fight him. Please
Well,
elaborate.
We haven't seen the Baron in a long time, but I know he's up to no good. Certainly, I mean, guess okay. What was your question again? Sorry, I was.
Just to try and explain what exactly is the Baron, like if he's a monster, like another werewolf or something like that. Because we already know he's not human, basically.
Yeah, he's goes. Yeah, this. They always say that. Yep, the Baron. He is a bloodsucker.
Oh, damn it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He's a giant bat.
Is
Now-
the innkeeper still right here?
He's Batman.
I'm gonna look at the innkeeper and demand to know where the apothecary is. It's time for her to wake up.
Because across the street and 2 hours down that way. And points
Shouldn't
you
we
at
just
the
go in the morning where the sun is up?
The guy who stumbled in, who knows the blacksmith, kind of looks up at you and says, "But she won't make it till morning."
Ah, damn it.
Well, 2 of us, if we go there in our current state, we won't make it to save her. At least we might not.
I'm gonna look at the party.
Unless the apothecary wakes up and actually has something that heals her. That will.
I'm gonna look at the party. Simple plan. We wake the apothecary, we find the evil, we kill the evil.
Okay.
And we might even
You
get
get
the
the
loot
po-
from the castle.
You go get the apothecary. I'm gonna have a chat with the guys here at the inn.
What was that?
I want to speak after he goes to the apothecary.
Okay.
I want to speak with the people that are in the inn right now, the villagers.
Which ones? There's the
All of them.
dwarf. Okay. And what do you want to be
I'll
asking them?
just say, well, maybe it is our fault that your person got kidnapped, but I don't exactly see you probably concerned, and I'm really not inclined to help you because we did one mistake that it wasn't even our fault. So we will help you guys if you join us in this fight. Because if we go alone and we lose, I'll just tell you sent us, and your lives will be a living hell from that point on. So if you want to take a stand, this is it. And I'll just go get my drink and continue drinking like nothing happened.
The the younger man and the dwarf both sort of, you can tell they're pretty much drunk, and they kind of stumble up and say, "Yeah, it's about time anyway," and so one of them like reaches behind the bar and grabs a bottle and like breaks it, and the other one grabs like a stool, like the dwarf grabs a stool to, and or a table leg, and smashes off a table leg.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of face palm as I'm looking at these guys.
The old man is he just sits there drinking and doesn't say anything. The halflings are all cowering in a corner. Or no, the halflings are actually brave. The halflings will have pretty much just lined up in like a little V formation. Like, when do we leave?
So I assume we'll leave as soon as we get the apothecary to join us.
Is there enough weapons to actually go around?
The only weapons there was one short sword, one dagger, and some arrows. I'm not going to worry about tracking ammo for arrows because that's, yeah.
I'm gonna take the short sword.
Okay.
I'll let Alex take the dagger. Maybe you can use it better since it's a finesse weapon.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna use it.
Let me quickly look at my Are daggers simple or martial weapons?
Daggers are simple.
Okay.
Simple and finesse.
They're a monk weapon. I looked that up before.
Okay.
So, yep, they do qualify as a monk weapon.
The only weapons I've seen monks use are short swords and quarterstaffs, so I was just checking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I asked the bartender. So this Baron, does anyone in the town work in the castle, or does he have any people who serve him?
There's there's the people that he abducts that he keeps up there, and obviously the sheriff, as far as we know. We're not allowed up in the castle, if that's what you mean.
I suppose I figure someone that decides to call himself a baron would probably have some sort of servants. So.
Well, he's certainly had plenty of opportunity for servants with the number of people he's taken.
Is this blacksmith well enough to work a forge, or is he still pretty fucked up?
He's pretty messed up, but you get the impression he's gonna do whatever he can. That they've taken his wife up to the castle, so he's going to he's willing to go up there if need be. It would probably be death.
Let me run this by you.
Yep.
I have 2 silver coins. Can I get those melted down and ground into a powder in like the little bit of time that we have before we need to set out?
Yeah. How soon we need to set out? How, in like minutes, hours, or what?
The blacksmith wants to get going as soon as possible, obviously. I don't know how long does it take to.
So basically, my character asks the blacksmith.
Yeah, you could probably get a small. While some of you guys go to the apothecary, you can kind of grind up essentially like a tablespoon of silver for the other two of you each or so.
Cool.
Like silver dust.
Just have that ground up into a dust in a leather pouch or something.
Yep. Yeah. Who's ever not going to the
convince all of the people in the inn to just give out their silver coins to help.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much the number of silver coins; it's the amount of time that he's willing to spend doing this. Yeah.
If you want to melt, I can help. I have the thaumaturgy cantrip, which can make fires a bit bigger, just to help the melting.
Okay. Yeah.
If it helps with the time.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, melting. I don't think would be useful in because you're essentially. I think he's. I mean, I'm no blacksmith myself, but I think what would essentially happen was you just take the coin and run it on like a file or something like that. He wouldn't necessarily be melting it down to get powder. If he was trying to like cover something in silver, then yeah, I would